What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we've got Ash on the channel, guys. And it's been a minute since we had him on the channel. What's up, Ash? How you doing, bro?
Yo, Skratch, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. And trying to see how the old meta is becoming the new meta. You know, like finally you're seeing them all around. And I know you've been doing a lot of live arena recently as well, and most likely you're pretty much in the same boat with me. You're constantly seeing these champions everywhere, and it has been a while since we really started to see them actively being used as much as they are being used now. So I think it would be a pretty fun, funky idea to talk a bit about bombers, maybe kind of like quickly rank all of the bombers that we have in the game, and kind of like let the other people know why they are so freaking good now. And by the way, I'm loving my Nishak, and that's because I don't have the mythical version. But
Cometus.
Are you using him?
No, I don't have him either, bro. I don't have him either. I wish if I had him, I would be using him.
What about Nishak? Are you using him?
A little bit. Is he like in your heavy rotation?
Oh yeah. Because I kind of like adjusted all of my teams for him, basically. You know, it's pretty hard right now in live arena because there's a lot of stone skin, right? There are a lot of OP mythical champions. They're just in general, there are a lot of OP champions. So if you don't have a good option to basically help you deal with that stone skin that they might have, or something that will allow you to basically wipe them instantly, they can come back and hunt you, you know? So that's why I'm really relying on a lot of debuffers, guys. It's not all about bombers in today's video, right? Debuffers, like I'm using what's his name? Gurgo a lot, man.
Yeah,
I'm using him a lot.
Read your mind, bro.
Yeah.
You're right. Those buff removers and then CC or add a debuff is they're meta again. You know, obviously Odin first and foremost, but Odin I see like a lot more in like Plat or classic arena than I do in live arena. I still see him a lot. Don't get me wrong in live arena, but you're right. They have that same ability where they're removing buffs and then CCing.
Yeah, very powerful. You have quite a few of them. Of course, all this is thanks to the pinpoint, thanks to the feral set, mainly the pinpoint set, right? Not getting polymorphed is massive, and that was the main reason why all of these champions disappear. Like even right now in Platinum Arena, rank 1, we have Odin, we have Marius in the same team, right? Very nasty combo, and they're super effective for offense in Platinum Arena. It's not just about live arena; they're just very effective as champions since the pinpoint set was added and feral, right? Most likely, most of them are in pinpoint, but everywhere.
Are you like me, bro? Sorry, you're like me, and you have like 6 champions that you really want to build in feral, and you just don't have. You're missing like one piece or whatever.
Yeah, I'm missing accessories. Usually the amulets. I don't know what. And the amulets.
Me too. I'm just like, oh. I want it so bad, you know, even mainly like for Hydra too, right? To get that 9-piece. But I just want to experiment with stuff, right? I want to experiment with like 9-piece on like Contra the Cyclone or something like that, where you're just like debuff after debuff, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like in a few weeks, months, maybe we're gonna get the missing pieces. It's very hard because it's so much RNG with all of the factions, right? And it will it will be pretty hard to get him done. But we have the siege mode as well, right? A lot of these champions are being used in there. The bombers, all of these debuffers, right? But for me, main priority right now is to basically try and counter the stone skin. And there are only a few valid options. And the best option, of course, are the bombers, because there is no 50-50 chance in there. You give them the bombs, they're going to eat them and go to sleep. But when you're using a buff stripper like Gurgo, for example, actually, I'm just going to go straight to the build and stuff. I feel like he's very nice because of the buff removal, and then he deals damage. He doesn't need to be in stone skin, and he's really smacking. Like I don't have stone skin on mine, stone skin savage on mine. Pardon my French. I don't have savage on mine, and he absolutely wrecks, man. Like freezes.
So you're using Gurgo a lot too, right now?
Yeah, Gurgo a lot. Nishak, Marius, Odin, like. They're part of the menu.
Those are the main crew you got. Yeah, like do you feel like bomb is? I still feel like we're missing like maybe 1 or 2 pieces for bomb to really like permeate the meta like fully. Not to say that it's not, like obviously it's super popular, especially if you have Cometus or Nishak. But outside that, like I don't really run into any bombers, you know, like I don't run into Gaius's or Lord Chazars or anything like that. Obviously, War Mothers, like there's a lot of them, right? And there's a lot of epics too. I feel like one more enabler, you know, or another just stupid good bomb champion like Kamitas or something. I feel like that would kind of put it in like in the meta more. What do you think in terms of like, are you happy with Bomb's spot right now? To your point, Stone Skin's so popular that it's like, it's great, but you really need that one turn detonation, you know?
100%. And to be honest with you, that's the main reason why you're not seeing any other bombers being used. So it's just Komidas, Ignishak, War Mother. She's just not great for arena. They've tried with increased damage versus bosses and all that funky stuff, but it's really not effective in there either. Lord Shazar can be nice.
He has it potentially, yeah.
Potentially. Yeah. The thing is, the multipliers are not as great as on Gnishak. There are a lot of magic champions that are in the meta, and I feel like that's something that really hurts Lord Shazar because of the affinity, him being spirit, right?
You can be critical for that one turn anyway.
Exactly, right. And if that's not happening, you're gonna drop down. But on paper, he's great. You have the speed aura 32%, which is massive. He brings his own increased attack, which means that you don't need to bring in a champion that gives you increased attack because he does that already. The whole problem for him are basically the affinities, right? And I do think that, yes, we should 100% get some more interesting bombers in the mix. Like Stone Skin has been dominated for a very long time now, and I think we need something to spice it up a bit more. Maybe another legendary rather than a mythical, you know?
You know what's kind of disappointing too? That Stone Skin, what is it called? Something Thorns or whatever. That Stone Skin Blessing. Yeah, like it just wasn't. Like I was kind of hopeful that hey, maybe we can actually do enough damage to override, you know, some Stone Skin. But to me, at least in my limited testing, it wasn't anything special at all.
Yeah, and even like with that Blessing, I'm sorry to interrupt you, and Tranda dealing additional damage versus Stone Skin is still not enough. Only to smack a couple of squishy nukers, you know?
Yeah. But I agree with you, man. Like, I love, honestly, I've come to respect a little bit after complaining. I was complaining, I'm sure you were too, back in like the olden days of Torment. Like, dude, are they ever going to do anything about Torment? What the hell is this Torment meta? And then I complained about speed meta, you know, like it's just speed. Who cares? The fastest arbiter wins. And then I started complaining about hegemons, you know, like, are they ever going to do anything about this ever? And then I complained about Stone Skin, and I complained about Polymorph, and now I'm complaining about but I guess now zooming out with a little perspective and wisdom, Skratch, I'm not saying like, they still wait too long to address things, in my opinion, and they're scared to address other things, right? That are just easy, low-hanging fruit. But with that said, I've also come to appreciate maybe the slower evolution of the meta throughout the years. Do you have that kind of same, like now that you have like this long track record, do you have that same viewpoint, or are you just left frustrated more often than not?
I think it's fine. Like Torment was really busted when they initially released him, but I already had a solution to it, and that was called immunity, you know? I already had good immunity gear, so for me, it was actually not a massive issue with Torment, but he was pretty nasty. Then we had Sifi-Rotos, which were pretty crazy. I had the multi-hitters to quickly take down Rotos, so that was as it was, but they were crazy. Like, sometimes he was wiping your entire team, and you were just
yeah. It's still crazy, but think about how it is now for any new players, and it's just like, it was 3 times worse. Remember Rotos when he came out, like he could like one shot ice skull him too. Like remember that? Yeah. He was like boom, like,
doing everything like crazy. So I do think that the meta evolves pretty slow, and that's mainly because recently it just feels like they're creating the problem to sell the solution. I know it's a business. I know that's how things run most of the times, but recently it's just feeling like, okay, new problem, great. I'll bring you the solution in a couple of months, you know. I feel like that's kind of like how they're doing it nowadays. Yeah.
You know what? I think that probably the truth lies somewhere in the middle, right? I think that you're absolutely right. It does feel like that, right? Oh, you sick of Taurus and Marichka? Well, how about you go for Armand? So he'll help you out a little bit or whatever, you know? And and then, so I totally agree with you. But at the same time, too, to be fair, I think I like developing or introducing the solutions naturally into the meta versus just nerfing all the time, you know? So I think that like, but you're right. It does feel sometimes like, oh yeah, you're sick of this? How about you buy this? You know? So I can see it both ways.
definitely not a big fan of nerfs, to be honest. Like in any games, like I used to be a massive shooter guy, right? To play shooters, and
Okay.
you always have, like Call of Duty, you always have one weapon just wrecking everything else, and then they nerf it, and then the other thing becomes the most OP. Everybody's using the same thing. That's very boring when it's literally one thing. It's much better when there are 5, 6, 10, 20 options, you know. So them bringing in gradually new champions, new solutions to our problems are basically making it a bit more interesting. At least that's what I think.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Here I am trying to sell the meta to people right now. But yeah, I think that I like this. I like that bombs are actually a thing, you know, and it's got me, man, I think my MVP right now, Skratch, maybe I'm speaking your language. I'm not sure though. I think it's like Marichka, not Taurus and Marichka, just Marichka, because
of the passive.
She's the only, to like, if I want to protect my stone skin, if I want to combat these disgusting teams, I need to have Marichka in some of my best gear to be ready there for the block damage. And the same thing goes with like a Gizmak, right? Someone else is going to be dropping a burn on me. So I think that Marichka, because I don't have Cometus, Marichka is like a huge part of my drafting strategy in live arena, because I know, especially if I go against somebody who I know is like top 50 or whatever, right? I'm like, okay, they're going to Cometus me. I need to drop Marichka early, you know?
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah, but overall, I like the shit. I like it, even though Cometus is ridiculously broken in the arena. At least it feels that way, not having him.
Yeah,
I do like the change, you know.
100%, and that's one of the main reasons why bombs are not as effective in a classic arena. You cannot ban a champion from there, and everybody has Marichka in their defense during plat reset.
Right.
At least the top players, right? So that's mainly to counter bombs and to kind of like stop all these super fast farming teams, but 100%. So if we would do a ranking, right, we're talking about only legendary bombers. We're not talking about the epics because they just don't have enough firepower in them.
Right. I do have a favorite epic bomber, but like he's just not good enough, to your point. But I really like Soul Drinker, you know.
Yeah, he's nice. The problem with him, the passive doesn't have multipliers, like the increased attack and stuff.
Yeah, they're half
like that,
the damage or something.
Yeah,
right? Something like
so
that. Yeah,
that's lacking a bit in that department, unfortunately. So Cometus would be the number one bomber, no questions asked, because of
for sure
how crazy he is with the ability to metamorph, not being locked, etc. So 100% very, very solid. Nishak, again, would be number 2 most likely, because nobody else can compete with what he does. Put the bombs, decrease the turn.
He's insane.
Boom, yeah. And then if they survive, he can put the poisons. And if you have the right blessing on him, you know, maybe that poison will kill them when they're taking a turn. So that's not to mention
nice, like what he can do for like cheat coding through Bommel and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's just like, he's amazing.
And the right affinity too for the current meta.
Number 3 is tough though, bro, because it's like I traditionally have always been like a Gaius over a Shazar guy.
Yeah.
Like I like that he can go in there and sleep and CC, and I love his Mad Bomber passive. I think he's more interesting. But that one turn detonation, I think I might just go with Shazar, and the fact that he can bring his own increased attack too. What about you?
Yeah, definitely Shazar, just because of it. I was always a Shazar guy, even though Gaius was still bad in some situations before, and that's mainly because of the speed aura and the detonation of the bombs, which is great. And he did got his multipliers buffed a while ago, Shazar, if I remember it correctly. So
yeah, he did his bombs.
He will put good damage. You do need accuracy and all that stuff. But the main thing that stops him, and the rest will have cons as well. The main thing that stops Shazar is basically the affinity. You have Nice, you have Siegfried, you have Ancora, too many magic champions, the Lazarius that are at the top, Armans, etc. That can basically turn the tide of the fight if he weak hits.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my main problem with Lord Shazar. Yeah.
Okay. So I agree. I hear you on all that. So I can agree with Shazar 2 or 3 rather.
Yeah.
Gaius
number 4.
Would you go Gaius 4?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I mean, we have War Mother. Yeah, that's about it, right?
The thing about War Mother,
I don't think we have another one. Do we have another legendary bomber?
She's dude, how pathetic is that if we have no other legendary bombers? I can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't think of any. I have a feeling that maybe we're missing
somebody,
I'll pull it up but I think we're not missing anyone.
War Mother is interesting because, man, if you can just get her in a Stone Skin Relentless or Pinpoint Relentless, or put like a Shuzen to go right after her or something, somehow get her the double turn, she becomes like a really intriguing like beast of a champion. with the instant detonation.
Detonation,
right?
yeah.
But it's just that setup is too difficult right now, you know?
I think if you could go like a Shuzan, you could go with an Arbais. Arbais faster, Shuzan slower
Yep.
than War Mother. Like
Yep.
that, you could pull off some crazy
You
things.
could definitely pull it off, like for
Insta
sure.
detonate. That would be nice.
Yeah. That is crazy, bro. Astrolith obviously as a single target bomber.
Yeah, that's the other bomber that we have actually. How can I forget about Astra?
Yeah, Astrolith actually, it's weird because I was thinking AOE the whole time in my head.
Yeah, me too.
Astrolith
That's why I haven't really thought about Astrolith. I was
she might be
AOE.
number 2 actually, or 3 actually in my list now that I think about it. It's harder to pull off the spread. You need the spread, you know.
Yeah.
But in terms of single target bomber, no one's better, right?
Yeah, Astrolith, she's super good as a single target. The problem is for her as well that you do need the perfect team for her. You can't build her like I fought a few Astroliths in live arena where I got my ass whooped because she was just so fast. And even though I banned to Hanorak or a different spreader, he still managed to get the upper hand because I had Stone Skin bang. He landed the bombs. She did not go polymorph. And even if she gets polymorph, one of the bombs still lands, right? And the damage might get a bit reduced or something like that. Or both of the bombs will land. It depends. But she still has that firepower to kill you because she has very good multipliers. And the speed aura, 28% is very nice for arena,
Yeah, similar to you, I've underestimated Astrolith and been rude the day for because it's weird because she lands those bombs, can't be resisted, blah blah blah. She has that really cool turn meter fill on the assault leader, but then like even that judgment can be super annoying to deal with, like as her second move, like the exchange HP and then pop them off, extra turn if they drop low enough in HP. So like you can do some like crazy kind of chain moves with Astrolith. So yeah, she's a cool champion, but I just don't love the idea. Like I'm like being nitpicky here, but I just don't love the idea of trying to pull off that spread with a Vizier or a 2 Anorak, like you said, right? It could be easier said than done in this meta.
Yeah, for live arena, it's just super hard to make it happen. I do think that while she was very powerful for a classic arena, it's much harder even in there to use her. Like I don't really know many people that are really relying on her in there. And for live arena, honestly, even though I got my ass whooped a few times, I still don't think that she's that OP to deal with. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, she's not the scariest. Like I'd be way more, because when you see the Kamitas or a Nishak, it's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna ban you. Like I mean, you don't have very options. It's gonna be instant death, and it's not quite the same with the other bombers on the list, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I do think she deserves actually the 3rd spot, to be honest. And we can put Shazar 4, Gaius 5th, War Mother 6th.
I concur.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Are you using bombers? Are you using champions that debuff, remove the buffs? Like personally, since the addition of Pinpoint, I'm all in on these champions, and in a way, arena is more enjoyable because I'm not constantly hitting into that freaking Stone Skin that pisses me off all the time.
It's so true, man. Now we just need, like, I feel like the last debuff to actually have its time in the sun to some extent in this game is like Fear and True Fear, right? Yeah, it's like I feel like it's the last OG debuff that it's like, like all right, but not great, a true. It doesn't have like, so I don't know, maybe make that like land on Stone Skin or something. I have no idea. I don't know what it would be, but I feel like there needs to be. I still have it in my damn head that Fortis is going to be good someday. Skratch.
One day,
Still waiting for it.
Who knows?
But yeah, overall, really enjoying the meta shift, man.
Yeah, that's great, bro. I definitely feel the same. Let us know in the comments down below as well, guys. And as usual, a pleasure to have you on the channel, Ash.
Thanks, man.
And guys, make sure you head over to his channel. We actually recorded another video. Let the fun continue. Keep an eye on that video. We might release them at different dates and stuff. Who knows? But either way, stay tuned for it. And as always, appreciate all of you guys watching. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.